Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back for another brand new video. Now today's video we are here as always to break down, react and discuss to the latest Rangers game. A Rangers game that saw us going in to the Tony Macaroni on that horrific surface in the penultimate game of the season with a squad that was bare bones to say the very least, with 9 players out injured. But not only did we get the job done, ladies and gentlemen, we scored a couple goals that shouldn't be able to happen on that surface of the Tony Macaroni as we come away with the scoreline of Livingston 0, Rangers 3. And you know something, I'm sitting here with this big massive grin on my face knowing that that is now our 31st league win out of 37 games with no defeats, and the rest obviously being draws. But despite us going in to a tough environment versus a notoriously tough team of Livingston, we once again kept the door shut. We came away with a win, and the fact that we have now played 37 league games and only conceded 13, that right there is absolute madness, ladies and gentlemen. We deserve to go on and break this record, and I hope the players go out and do that on Saturday. But before we go ahead and start switching focus and moving on from there, let's break down this game of football, because there were some excellent moments, some excellent goals and some excellent things to break down in today's video. And the first of all, by the way, is going to be something that happened before the whistle went, and full credit to Livingston. They're a very, very classy outfit. Yes, they've got a horrific, and I mean horrific, part that I absolutely hate with every fibre in my being, but their manager is a breath of fresh air, and he's just utter class, and their players are as well, because before the game, ladies and gentlemen, Livingston Football Club went ahead and gave us the guard of honour. They are the first team in Scottish football over the last 2 months since we won the league to actually have the respect for the champions, what we are, and clap us onto the park. So before we go on to today's video and I do my one-liners and my jokes and everything, nothing but absolute respect for Livingston Football Club. Now, as I just spoke about class and respect, now that leaves me in this very, very awkward position to go ahead and flip it, because now I'm going to be very cheap and very cheeky and say to you, if you are new around here, or even if you're a regular viewer who hasn't hit that subscribe button, like 50% of our audience, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to reach the 50k dream before the end of the season. There's only one more game to go, and we're just under 1,500 away, so any help would be greatly, greatly appreciated as we try to close in that mark to make Saturday the ultimate celebration in every single freaking way. But enough cheeky things for me. I know you're all here for the one-liners and the game breakdown, so let's transition to it then, shall we? And again, going in to this game, we all saw the starting 11, and it was pretty much the 11 we spoke about in yesterday's preview video, and that was always going to be interesting to watch, to see how we went about this game. And going in, I wanted to see Alfredo Morelos right next to Kamaru again, because I love the fact that we are now playing 2 up front. I think we've got 2 very clever players that work very well with each other, and it worked to devastating effect versus Celtic, and I wanted to see it again versus Livingston, and again in a difficult position and on that park. And for me, the 2 of them were excellent again, and it creates havoc for defenders, because Morelos is an absolute bull in a china shop, and he's always got a man on him. And the fact that Kamaru is so clever and he can float into areas is dangerous every time we go forward, and it showed that in the 3rd minute, because Alfredo Morelos is brilliant to pull one defender shot, and Kamaru instantly spins in behind. Connor Goldson with a ball that looks like an extra from Bend It like Beckham, right into the old mixer. And unfortunately for Kamaru, in the 3rd minute, he wasn't adjusted to this park, as he takes a touch on the football and the ball just goes that way, and he goes that way. And unfortunately, that kind of summarises the first 20 minutes of this game. We had a couple of dangerous balls in behind, we had a couple of dangerous passages they played, but every time it got to a key area, it seemed to just skip away for us. So we go in to the 20th minute, and we actually nearly get caught cold as we go people forward, and it ends up just being a Route 1 clearance from Livingston that the big old-fashioned target man in J. Emmanuel Thomas, aka the Jet, just gets on the end of, picks up Jack Simpson, runs with the ball, slides the ball down the left, and it forces John McLaughlin into a very, very smart save, as John McLaughlin makes this look a wee bit more routine than it actually is, because he's out early, spreads himself, and no one is talking about it. But that, for me, is a very good save for Mr. John McLaughlin. And after that great save from John McLaughlin, I reached down for the old beverage, and I looked back up, and I thought I was in a glitch of the old Matrix, because it was the exact same long ball to big Jet, and Jet wrestling with Jack Simpson, dragging the ball away from the laddie, but this time instead of getting the ball down to their player, the referee ends up pulling it up for a foul, and our boy Jack Simpson is booked for his wrestle and pull on Jet, but thankfully the free kick is then cleared away. And for the rest of the game, I thought Simpson played Jet a lot more smarter because he didn't go on a tussle. We learned his lesson from the first two that he can't go shoulder to shoulder, and I thought that there again wasn't the best for Simpson in the opening 20 minutes. But if you look at the rest of the game and how he tackled and went about Simpson, it shows, Jet, sorry, it shows he's got Sahan up there because he didn't once put himself in that position again where he can just get manhandled. But despite those two moments where it was a wee bit scary, I thought for the rest of the first half it was just pretty much the Rangers show. I mean, Hagi hit back just 5 minutes after the two Jet opportunities there with a shot that went just a whisker wide. You then had Ryan Kent, honestly man, he just sits one of them down, drags the ball away for the alien, puts down Kemar Roof down the left hand side, but Roof's cross to Morelos is unfortunately just behind them. But that's the kind of way it was going, and it always seems to do that. So I was getting to about the 40th minute thinking, well, it's just a kind of typical performance at the Tony Macaroni. We're trying, but we just can't get that final little bit or a wee bit of skill or a moment in the game to create a clear-cut opportunity. But thankfully, ladies and gentlemen, it came with just a couple minutes to spare at half-time here. Once again, the two up top, the two out-and-out centre forwards for Glasgow Rangers creates things again as Morelos takes a man over here, Kamarov's here, and Hagi ends up running in the space that was created thanks to the two centre forwards. But even in saying that, ladies and gentlemen, let's give some credit to Kamaru, who wasn't having the greatest first half because he was seemed to couldn't adjust to the part, but that's why he's on there. Just so clever, so technical, and so filled with quality. It's a simple wee back heel flick in behind, and again Hagi gambles on it, and he's getting in there and he ends up trying to flick it, and the goalkeeper comes and absolutely wipes him out. Again, I guess people could argue that, oh, the ball's gone wide and everything, but the goalkeeper wipes the player out. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all going to forget the last time we were there, Morelos was wiped out by the goalkeeper and he was done for diving when he didn't dive. Everyone going to forget about that, but great about this one. Nah, no for me, ladies and gentlemen. Both were penalty kicks, and Tavernier steps up with a lot of pressure on the old plump bags. But what I loved about the skipper here is the goalkeeper does dive the right way, but this is top-notch penalty work here. Is the goalie dives, he gets down early, but he's nowhere near it, and that's the sign of a perfect penalty as the skipper rattles it in for his 19th goal of the season to set us on our fricky way. And you just look at Tavernier's season, man. 19 goals, 15 assists, been a part of this incredible and a massive part of this incredible Rangers defence this season. And you put all that together and also have to acknowledge the fact he was gone for 2.5 months. This season we're seeing for the skipper when we needed him the most going in to this year is one that genuinely should never be forgotten about. And as you can imagine, the late penalty kick was the last opportunity or the last chance in the first half. And we go into the second half with pretty much more of the same that we want to say, because despite again the two wee scares, it was us dominating the ball, it was us looking dangerous. Every time Ryan Kent touched it, everyone's starting to get up like that and expected something to happen. And we go into the second half and it was pretty much the same story as Ryan Kent again, so damn positive. He finds Tavernier doing the right, his cross gets cleared just outside the box and it falls to our boy Alfredo Morelos, but unfortunately Morelos' volley is spooned right out of the frickin' bar. But a bar was very, very kind to us just 8 minutes later. But before we get there, let's speak about another moment of quality from the skipper Tavernier, because this is all him. It's down on that right hand side and he hits an absolute gorgeous ball, nearly a carbon copy of his long through ball versus Livingston, where Jermaine Defoe, remember that wee touch volley that isn't getting the respect that it deserved. It's the exact same and it falls directly. You couldn't get it any better, you couldn't position it, you couldn't put any better pace on the ball. It literally drops right to the foot of Ryan Kent, and I'm thinking, oh my god, we're going to see another volley, but Ryan Kent ends up staying something that doesn't even make any sense to me, because somehow he cushions the ball effortlessly to Alfredo Morelos, and I'm going, alright Alfredo, I've got you as my captain in the fantasy league, bust the net big man. But he shows his unselfishness and shows that he just loves this as he cuts it back to Kent, because Kent has the easier goal and Kent taps it in. And honestly, I'm not doing that goal any justice, but it's absolute quality in every aspect. All I can summarise, by the way, is one phrase and one phrase only. That is just champion things. So sheer quality at the highest level, and that moment to, I don't know, a couple minutes later where I nearly had to change the old undergarments, ladies and gentlemen, as Livingston hit a ball into the mixer. It drops down to Pittman, I believe it is, and he tries a kind of quick sort of hit volley and ends up rattling the bar, bouncing downwards, and I'm going, oh, somebody's going to tap it in. There's Jet in there, there's two centre-halves for Livingston, there's a couple of your defenders, someone's rattling this in, but then our boy Stephen Davis just rises like a salmon and gets it cleared away once again, just writing another chapter of this unbelievable story for the 36-year-old Stephen Davis. Because how? Honestly, I'm needing to put my chair up when I say this, man. How does he even get to that? But aye, the bar was absolutely rattled in the 58th minute from Livingston Football Club, and I'm sitting there shouting how at our boy Stephen Davis, but just 10 minutes later I'm screaming how for a completely different reason, as we may, and I mean may, have just seen the miss of the old season, as for the first time all game long, Joe Rebo actually gets caught defensively, as he doesn't have the awareness. Again, he's an attacking midfielder, man. I was expecting a lot more of this, if I'm honest with you, but this is the one time he was really caught as he's spinning behind him. He doesn't track his runner, so Simpson needs to come out of his position to try and close down the cross. It's a brilliant wee cross in it. Unluckily, hits off Tavernier and it sets up Cabaye, I believe it is, at the back post. And I'm going, oh my God, that is so lucky. How do you get luck like that, man? But then the boy ends up missing an open goal, hitting the post, going away. And I'm sitting back going, honestly, I love being this lucky, man. But the 50-minute spell where Livingston could and probably should have scored at least one goal in the game was swiftly punished, as Cedric Itten and Jermaine Defoe was now on the park. And this goal right here is all about Cedric Itten, because this is a nothing pass. He shouldn't even be getting to this, but he gets back, he works hard, he nips in front of the Livingston player, he then passes the ball out to Joe Rebo, and he just keeps on running. He doesn't sit up thinking, right, there's 7-8 minutes to go, we're 2-0 up, the job's done, I didn't start, I'm maybe feeling a wee bit sorry for myself. There's none of that, there's no ego in that lad. He passes to Joe Rebo and he instantly sprints his arse off down that left hand side, and Rebo brilliantly picks the boy out, and then Cedric Itten with the opportunity inside the box just gets his head up and picks out Hagi with a wonderful ball that isn't getting the respect it deserves either, by the way. And the finish is spectacular by boy Mr. Hagi, who some people may be overly critical of, but me, not a chance, ladies and gentlemen. That's his 21st goal contribution of the frickin' season. And you look at him and you look at Ryan Kent, who's now got 13 goals and 14 assists. They were brought into this football club for this exact reason, to add these goals, to add these firepowers, and for me, they're doing that. Just look at what they've done and what they've added to your team. It's no surprise when you've got that level of attacking talent and you've got that output of these such technical, creative players that were sitting here with 55s on our jersey celebrating the title 2 frickin' months early. But with the third goal, that was the final nail and the old coffin, and that well and truly killed any spirited fight back or anything that you could possibly have imagined from Livingston Football Club. And we ran more changes. It was great to see Greg Stewart come on the park, and it was also brilliant to see young Leon King, who's got a very high future in the old game, hopefully for Rangers in a couple of years, and he got a wee bit of valuable game time. It was a shuffling performance for Rangers where there was players playing out of position. We had to place Hagi a wee bit more centrally defensive, but I actually thought in the second half, in the central position, Hagi was springing and pinging some passes. I thought he looked very good in the middle of the park. But again, this is just another notch of impressiveness in for Rangers, in my opinion. Bare bones, players playing out of position. We're having to play again, boys. Maybe the games we shouldn't be playing them in, but they're having to play every single minute because there's no one out, and we go to another tough environment versus another tough physical team that I've got a lot of respect and a lot of credit has to be given for. But again, we get the job and come away with a 3-0 performance at the Tony Macaroni. That, ladies and gentlemen, is just utter quality, and that's what we've came to expect from this champions of Scotland Rangers side. And with that being said, that's reached the end of today's video. All smiles once again, and it's great to say and great to feel, and I can't wait to see what your thoughts and opinions are down there in the comment section below. So make sure to be sharing your thoughts again individually regarding the players who stood out. We will be breaking that down in tomorrow's performance live on the channel at 7 o'clock, so make sure to be tuning in and getting involved and sharing your opinion. It's an interactive series where your comments and that come up on the screen, so get involved live tomorrow at 7 PM. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Over92. Thank you so much for watching. If you didn't mind hitting the like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. But until tomorrow at 7, take care of yourselves. All the best and bye-bye.